Okay, okay, I think we're good to go. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun tonight. This is not like the other shows were not fun because they were. I'm just on this tremendous wave of fun right now, which is kind of bizarre to say considering the circumstances that we find ourselves in. But like I've said many times, I am the director of my own movie, so I get to choose the scenes and the scenes that are being shown to me. They're not making the cutting room floor. Uh, I'm excited. I'm excited to be in Nova Scotia. I'm just thrilled to be in Halifax. It's just the community here, the community that I've been searching for. I'm finally on that wavelength, that energy wavelength where I'm now like just right next to him, talking to him. And I'm going to tell you about an interaction that I had at the end of my workday today. And looking back on it, it would have been great to have had that discussion maybe 4 months ago in the middle of November when I first started doing security. But it's nice to build up a relationship and then approach someone and make them aware of the other skills that you have. So I'm going to talk about that interaction at the end of my discussion with Andrew Garnett. So I'm just waiting for Andrew to come into the broadcast. While I do that, I just want to let you know that if you're just scrolling through Facebook, this is Facebook Live with Matthew. And I have been jumping in front of the camera since March of 2017. I've called it many things, therapy. It's an escape for me just to connect with people, split screen, through comments, the shares and the likes. So thank you for the live views. And if you're watching this at your leisure, I appreciate that as well. Mike Miller, who I stated in my behind the scenes segment, has been watching this, and I think he has probably seen like how my show has evolved, like it's gone coast to coast. Pam, Jane, welcome. So again, just waiting for Andrew Garnett to join the broadcast. Heavy D, how are you? -6 here tonight, sunshine tomorrow with a special weather advisory in place for Saturday. So heavy rain, strong winds in the forecast for Saturday. Parts of northern New Brunswick may receive snow. So let's just do this right now.
I can hear him, but I can't see him. I can see him, but I can't hear you. Oh. Can you hear me, Matt? I can't hear you. Oh. Let me exit out again, Matt, and come in. I can't hear you. I can see you loud and clear, but in fact, I hear my voice in the background as an echo.
Can you hear me now?
I can't hear you.
You can hear me now?
Oh.
No?
No.
So Mike Miller, if you can't hear me, just give me a thumbs up and we'll just have to exit out and start over again. There's been a bug like every night.
There's a delay, actually, Matt. I can hear you, but when if you say about 4 or 5 words, it starts about 4 or 5 words later.
Okay, yeah, that's what I should have explained in the tech rehearsal. Sometimes there can be a long delay, but you can hear me, yes?
I can now, yes.
Okay, okay. Miller, just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, which you should be able to. Okay. Okay. Okay, we're good to go. Thank you, Andrew, for doing this. So let's just keep that in mind because I don't want to be stepping over your words and vice versa, okay?
Sounds good.
Wow, there's a long delay. So this is how I want to start this off. I want to call this segment What I Know, and this is factual information that I know about you, okay, Andrew? I know for a fact that you have been the newly appointed Chief Administrative Officer. You're weeks away from a quarter century of service for the town of Woodstock, which you started in April 1997. You're co-chair of Woodstock Rib Fest, which is happening in the middle of August of this year. The first one was back in 2016. This is your 7th year. Last year's donations were over $52,000. So we're going to talk about where that money went, who received it. But first, I just want to get into RibFest. So I'm curious, take us back to the conception of RibFest. But I want to know personally, because I know you and Scott used to do Two Fools on a Roof. So I'm just wondering, was there any overlapping between those two projects? And just really, I want to give you the opportunity to tell the story of RibFest. And if you want to go back even further on Two Fools on the Roof, because you're always raising money for worthy organizations. So this is your opportunity to tell your story. I'm done talking for a bit.
Okay, thanks, man. I appreciate that. So, yeah, we definitely, Scott Dunlop and I start with the Two Fools on the Roof. And it was done mainly for awareness that Relay for Life was just around the corner. And I forget exactly how many years we did that, but it was close to 10 years. And it started with a little 8x16 deck that we had a local company float on the top of the roof of Homegrown Electronics, and we'd stay up there for 100 hours. But the first year was fun, but we kind of thought we could do more. So the deck every year got bigger and bigger, to the point we had hot tubs, we had bands, pool tables. We had a storm that actually moved the deck one year, and it just got bigger and bigger. And we had a lot of fun doing it, and we raised a lot of awareness. And we didn't know how much money we'd raise. Really, the point was just awareness over raising money, but it turned out to be a pretty darn good fundraiser as well too. And but we were we were having a lot of fun with it, but we kind of thought about maybe trying to think of something different to do to help raise awareness about cancer. And I think it was like the second from last year, we were on the roof. Jeff Bradbury showed up one evening and said, "You guys ever go to a Rib Fest before?" And I hadn't, and I don't think Scott had at that point. He had been down to Fredericton to theirs and thought, maybe that's something we should consider trying. And so we reached out to them, and we met with the guys that do that, and they were willing to take a chance on us. And we kind of figured it'd be a year down the road before we would do that. But they told us they had an opening, and basically if we didn't take it, it could be a chance that another municipality would take it. So we said, sure, we'll do it. And how long does it usually take to organize one of these Rib Fest? And normally it's like 9 months and about 50 people, and we did it with about 6 in about a month and a half. So
Wow.
We were fortunate; it really worked out. We happened to actually, the first year we did the Rib Fest, we actually did Fools on the Roof at the same time. And so we basically got off the roof and went basically to the back of the old Air Motor Center to start preparing for Rib Fest, it seemed like. So, but it was a success, and we knew that we were going to be able to grow the event. The public, strongly seemed to like it. So we thought, how can we get down on that infield, where the racetrack is, so we can get more people. Because the first year we did literally have it in the backyard of the back parking lot of the Air Motor Center, and but we went down on the infield, and 5-6 years later, we're going strong again. We had of course a couple of COVID years, but we did the drive through, and it was a lot of fun. They were, it was different. It was probably actually even easier to plan, because when Rib Fest was over for the evening, it was done. There wasn't a lot of cleanup and stuff, but and we raised some good money with it for sure. We were very thankful, but we are looking forward to being able to go back to the traditional Rib Fest, where we can maybe do some different events, in particular music. The people really look forward to that part, and so do we. So we're hoping that it's a big success again this year.
Can you divulge any information on like where you are as far as planning this, what stage you're in, like who's interested? And I'm interested, like what's the furthest distance geographically that you're hearing from people, like, hey, you know what, I'm probably going to show up at your event?
Yeah, well, Dana's been the only one organized so far. She does the music. We actually posted that we were going to the dates we were going to do it, and well, let's put the dates out there and say if anyone's interested in volunteering or music or being a vendor, let us know. And it didn't stop. People were reaching out, so which is great, because they want to get back at it. So, but we literally, I just finished creating the vendor forums for this year. In fact, one of the ribbers reached out today and said, "I want to know if he could have it." So I told him, I said, "Yeah, try to sit down tonight and make sure I get the dates and everything all right on it, and send it off." But I said we're just starting, but at the same time, we talk about it all year round. We really do. So, and again, doing it enough years, it's you dig out the binder basically, and a lot of it's there. But the basics of it is pretty simple to organize, but it's getting the public engagement with it, the volunteers, lining up your bands, lining up your all the different things you need to do to get ready for it. But we got a great group that help out every year, and it makes it easier for us for sure.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, what type of folks are pitching in and helping out that really help create the backbone of a really successful event going into its 7th year. Yeah. Where are people coming from, Andrew?
So we know we're going to stick with 2 rivers this year. Before, when we did I keep calling it traditional Rib Fest, we had 3, but just with the times, with the COVID the way it was, they just want to make sure that they're people are kind of come back. So they're going to come. We have 2 of them coming. Texas Rangers Barbecue is coming back, and Krabby's Barbecue are coming back. So we do know those 2 for sure. We've got confirmation that Tater King is coming. They're the folks that did the fries and the blue onions, which I believe the last time they were here, they had said they sold more blooming onions at Woodstock Rib Fest than any other place they go to. And they tore quite a bit across Canada. Canada loves their blooming onions. So we know those 3 for sure. And the other one that we haven't, of course, sent the paperwork yet, but it looks like our Jolly Rancher slushy. The kids love that. Even the big kids too. They're probably going to be here as well. So, but we know there's a few others that are out there that have said, as soon as you're ready, let us know and reach out. So, we're looking to try to get, maybe pizza there, ice cream there, because, the purpose of it really, it is Rib Fest, but we want to make sure that we have enough, say, food options so that, it's not just a mom and dad event. You bring the kids too, right? So yes. That's definitely the purpose of why we get the wide range of vendors. So, and music won't be an issue. I mean, we could probably do music for for 3 weekends right now. So everyone, there's been bands I've never even heard of reach out um, to them. So we're excited about that. Um, I think people seem excited to hear about the music to the point where I won't say they'd come just to watch me sing, but I could probably sing and they would still want to come. So.
Is there any significance? It seems like this year's event is a bit later in the year than previous years. Am I wrong, or is that correct?
Yeah, so originally we were the first weekend in June. That's how the first, I think, 3 of them went, maybe four, 3 of them. And that was just the only opening we had. So I guess maybe a silver lining with COVID is that just the way it went, we had moved to September, and because they were just trying to, because some places didn't even want to do the drive-through Rib Fest past couple of years. So they, as a result, they kind of just narrowed their window that they were in the Maritimes. So we had moved it to September. We were actually one of the last ones, as opposed to one of the first ones in the Maritime. Yeah, I think we were the second one. It must have hit the Maritime. The last couple of years, we were the second from last one. That caught us on the way back. But when we were kind of talking with them this off season, we got a really good working relationship with both the rivers, and they had thrown out 2 or 3 dates to us and said, "What would you like?" And we've become good friends with them, and good working relationship, and they let us pick the weekend in August we wanted, which is August 19, 2021. So even if it's a rainy day, it's probably a lot warmer in August than it is the first weekend in June. So we jumped at it.
Cool. Excellent. Just one final thing with Ribfest, then we'll talk about your new promotion. I mentioned earlier that in 2021, this last Ribfest, you raised over $52,000. Can you just quickly talk about who was the lucky recipients of those large donations?
Yeah, so we donate to originally when we started it was for Relay for Life, and Relay for Life, it doesn't happen in Woodstock anymore. It hasn't happened in the last few years. I don't know if it'll start back up in the future, but our goal was to find 3 different charities that would kind of fit our mold of like a financial support, a research element, and also a peer element, like a peer support. So there's a Valley Peer Support Group that we donate to. Then there's the River Valley Cancer Support Group, with financial group in Carleton County, which have done amazing work over the past number of years. And then the last one is the John T. McMillan Jr. Memorial Foundation. So they were kind of like the Relay for Life equivalent, if you will, except instead of a Cancer Society, it goes directly to the St. John Regional Hospital through their group. And so there's no middleman with that. So it's really kind of more bang for our buck with that. And I myself have a personal connection with that foundation. When I was a kid growing up in St. John, John McMillan was my best friend, and he had passed away of leukemia about 10 years ago now, or a little bit more. So his family had started the foundation, and they're kind of like us in a way, where they kind of do the 3 different elements, I call them, or the pillars of fighting cancer. And we were very happy to join on. And last year, with our donation to that group and them matching the dollars, they were able to purchase a piece of equipment that went to the oncology department for the St. John Hospital. And basically, I don't pretend I get to know all the ins and outs of how these pieces of equipment work, but basically the way it was described to me is that when people are waiting to get their testing and stuff done to determine what kind of cancer it is, you can imagine where it's a wide range of people, and then when they get to this testing, it narrows in because there's only so much they can do at one time. This helps widen that gap so that they can get their answers quicker. which of course, as you know, as you're fighting that, the quicker you get answers, the quicker they come up with a plan to help fight your cancer.
Yes. You must, I'm going to assume you sleep well at night for all the work that you do, yeah?
I don't sleep a lot, actually. and it's just me, but no, I am very proud to be part of the group that does this, for sure. We have seen firsthand how RipFest is able to help these groups, and we have great relationships with all three of them. A lot of amazing people, current people battling cancer, people that have had. So I could start naming names, but it'd take forever. But the McMillan family, I think of Doug Graham and his family, the Hogans, just all kinds of people that have been involved with this longer than I have. And just to say that I'm part of helping those teams, we feel pretty good about it.
Awesome. Many achievements as a part of RibFest, and personal achievement. But before we get to that, if you're just scrolling through Facebook, this is Facebook Live with Matthew, speaking with Andrew Garnett, who has just been appointed the Chief Administrative Officer for the town of Woodstock. You are weeks away from 25 years of service, so congratulations on that. My question to you is, a few weeks ago, I saw a Facebook post about municipalities, communities in New Brunswick being amalgamated. So I'm wondering if you can kind of fill me in who is at the discussion table and what are they talking about right now?
Yeah, it's definitely, they've talked about it for years. I think a lot of people in the province of New Brunswick remember probably the last big push for this was, when the Finn report came out, the Liberal Party kind of had proposed, and it's been tried a number of times, but it's just been kind of put on the back burner. But the province of New Brunswick felt it was time now to move forward with this. And this isn't driven from the municipalities. It's been driven through the LSDs, and I've partaken a few Zoom meetings and calls where the people in the LSDs, they want representation. They want to be able to have a say on where their tax dollars are going. And so with working with the province, they felt the best way is this municipal reform. And basically it's it's combining municipalities with local service districts to form large municipalities. For example, technically we don't have our name of what our new town is going to be. It could be Woodstock, but it could be something different. Right now it's referred to as Entity 73. But there will be a naming process with that. I personally think it's going to be still called Woodstock, but we'll see how that goes. So with our group and Entity 73, there's our mayor is part of. There's two groups. There's an administration group, which I'm the head of with that. I have some team members at work that are part of that will help with budgeting and bylaws and that sort of part of the municipal government. But our mayor Slip, and then there's some LSD chairs from around the area that are part of the other side of it that will be kind of coming together. And it's still really new. There's going to be a lot of work because we have actually a municipal election this November, and we've basically just about finalized the boundaries of what the new entity is going to be. Just to kind of determine that we will have a mayor and 8 councillors with the new council, and it'll be an award system. And so, 30 days from now, there'll be fingers crossed that they'll be able to answer a lot more questions. But there's still a lot of unknowns, and it's a kind of a buckle up and hang on because the process is going to move quickly.
Okay, 2 more things, and this next one will tail off of what you just said. If you, I don't want to, this is hypothetical, and I don't want to put anything more on your plate, but a hypothetical, what if you were approached someone said, Andrew, I need you to put together a 60-second promo for tourism in Brunswick. What would that look like? And would King's Landing be in that sequence of scenery?
That's there's so much to offer, and I guess it just depends on how far you want to out. Uh, Nakawik is, they recently did a video. I don't think what her name is. She's a real estate agent out of Fredericton. I think her name is Jessie Yerksa. He did a video with the town of Nakawik about Discover Nakawik, and they talked about the local places like Big Axe and Crab Mountain, and it can go down as tourism for Greater Woodstock as far down as say Kings Landing, but if you actually take the time to think about what Carleton County and the Greater Woodstock area has to offer for tourism, there's quite a bit. Between the axes and the bridges, and I'm still amazed that we don't utilize our rivers more than what we do. I mean, it's a beautiful area. I mean, you've been from coast to coast, and I think one of the most beautiful areas there are is Woodstock, and the valley in general. So, and I really think for our area that how great it is to promote tourism for Woodstock itself. It's a valley initiative. So everywhere from Perth Andover to King's Landing, if you were to come to the area, there's so much to see, and not that long of a drive to to nail off a bunch of these tourist attractions.
Okay. I want to thank you for your time, Andrew. I know I've just learned how extremely busy you are. I just want to leave you with this, and I may be putting you on the spot, but I don't think you would have the final decision on this. But I'm just curious if anywhere in Woodstock that the Ukraine flag is being flown on any flags poles in Woodstock.
I haven't seen it, Matt, but I know at the town hall where it isn't happening right yet, but we are we have a number of floodlights around the town hall. Like at Christmas time, we put them up. We put some different colors up. We go red with the dyslexia cause. There's a number of colors we try to switch out, and we are as soon as we have the opportunity to get them. And funny because Greg Stokes and I were talking about this yesterday about getting the lights switched out to represent the Ukrainian colors to honor those folks.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, that would be a great gesture, and the least we can do, because honestly, Andrew, I've never in my lifetime witnessed a population of humans who are just so brave and so resilient, and fighting for their lives. And the fact that we get to watch it from the comfort of our own home sometimes can be, that's why I do this. That's why I come in here and get distracted and talk to more interesting people and interesting events like you.
There's a Ukrainian family in Woodstock that I believe it was Mike Arnold, and he had actually, I wasn't talking to him, but I read it on his Facebook post where he was talking to a gentleman that's Ukrainian, and he asked him, how's it going? Like, how are you and your family doing? And he said he was actually getting ready to just to say goodbye to his family, and he was hopping on a plane, and he was going back to fight for his country. Yeah, this is his home now, but his home in his heart is back over there. And it was just kind of like, wow, when I read that, it's kind of like, it's amazing. And you think about, I forget his name, the heavyweight boxer there that was so dominant for years. Reading that article where he could be anywhere, right? But no, he's going to go fight. Yeah.
The president used to be a comedian. He's turned into like one of the biggest real life superheroes that we've ever witnessed. Like, it's remarkable to witness. You can never forget this period in time ever.
No, and it's funny when you talk about war, you always think about who's shooting the most bullets, and how I kind of was waiting, waiting for the Americans, waiting for, the UK and them to send their planes and their tanks and their fighters, which, they haven't done yet. But the world seems to be fighting back in different ways. That seems to be having a quite a very significant punch, if you will, that seems to be, slowly, hopefully crippling the army and the country in general. So, hopefully there's a reaction soon enough. But he's a scary man.
Yeah, I know it sounds cliche, but I would give anything for just world peace. Let's just get along. Like, let's just get along.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Easier said than done. Andrew, thanks for your time. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that. Again, congratulations on the promotion, well deserved. And I will.
Yeah.
I want to be there. I'm 5.5 hours away from RipFest. The odds of me being there are like really good.
That's awesome.
Yes, yes.
Awesome.
Okay. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Thanks again, Andrew. I appreciate this.
All right. Go Thunder this weekend.
Yes. Oh, next time you see John Olton, thank John Olton for going live at those games, man. It takes me back. A couple of weeks ago at halftime, went over and he was at the scores table, and he was actually. It was just next time you see him, tell him I appreciate it, and I'm sure a lot of people appreciate it.
Yeah, he's done a great job with that. There's been a few times where I was, thinking about going to the game. I wanted to go to the game and couldn't, or was, tied up in a meeting, and then I'd sit back behind the desk and watch, the last 10 minutes of a game because Johnny O was there doing it. So,
yeah, Johnny O.
So,
awesome.
The girls are gonna hopefully crush Rosse, and actually, and even in hockey, the girls and the boys team start this weekend. The boys hockey team I know is in first. They play their first playoff game Sunday. We don't even know who we play yet, but I know we play on Sunday, and they have a very, very strong team as well too. So hopefully you get two teams chasing banner.
And this is you're talking about Harbor Station. This is playoff ball at Harbor Station this weekend.
Yes, yeah. So the girls basketball is at Harbor Station this weekend. Yes. Yeah.
So they have a chance to hoist the provincial banner this weekend. That's what they're going for.
Yes. Yeah, the girls do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I know what I'll be watching this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Andrew.
All right. Take care.
Yeah, you too. So we will let Andrew let himself out of here. There he goes. Where are we for time? There's a couple more things I want to talk about. 9:32. Okay. 2 minutes over. But I wanted to. Okay, I'll just talk about this. The other day, I do security work for the commissionaires in my position. Lucky for me, happens to be at one government place, which is the working home of the Nova Scotia Premier, Tim Houston. So I get to see the Premier whenever he comes into the building. 9 times out of 10, he walks by me. So we've had some interesting conversations. But they made an announcement earlier this week. I think it was Tuesday afternoon. They made an announcement with Screen Nova Scotia and the Nova Scotia government. Nova Scotia government is making a huge contribution to film and television here in Nova Scotia. So to make this announcement, of course, it made sense to have the executive director, Laura McKenzie, and the chair of the board of directors, Michael Volpe, be a part of this announcement. So I knew this beforehand. So I thought, I'm taking this flag in, and I'm going to have these two individuals. I will approach them to see if they would like to sign this flag. So they came into the building, they signed in, I introduced myself, and I told them, when your business is done, perhaps you could help me with this project, sign something for me. So they did their thing. They're all done their business. Now it's just me, Mrs. McKenzie, and Mr. Volpe. Long story short, they signed this, but it wasn't until I came home later that day that I realized the individual, Mr. Mike Volpe, who was now on this flag, was one of the executive directors of Trailer Park Boys. I had no idea. But what was really which it is, of course it is. And I'll leave you with this, and I've said this many times. If you do not just go out on a limb in some, and I know, I don't know what happened with the mic here, so I'm hoping I'm not speaking that loud, so I'm hoping you can still hear me. But the whole thing about, if you don't introduce yourself to someone, they'll have no idea you exist. And I have been doing security at one government place for nearly 4 months. And there is a group of people that come in there, Communication Nova Scotia. They are responsible for every time there's a press conference, anytime there is anything to be recorded with the government, deputy ministers, the premier, MLAs, they are there. They're the tech people. They are the ones responsible for recording it, sending it out to different outlets, recording it live. So I've seen these people for the last 4 months. They know who I am. I know who they are. And I let them into this door and they do their thing. Well, over the last week and a half, I have struck up conversations with Cody, who's a freelance cameraman, and Alan, who's also a part of Communication Nova Scotia. And I wanted to let them know that there's more to me than just doing security. As much as I love it, it's been one of the best opportunities for networking ever. I network, Matt work. Matt work when I network. So today, I introduced myself to Brian, who is the head individual, the director, the manager of Communication Nova Scotia. So as he is getting ready to leave, he's already done his assignment. He's getting ready to leave the building, and I just made my presence known, and I said, Brian, I know that we have never formally introduced, but I need you to know that I am a non-union voice actor, and I'm always looking for new projects. And he gave his partner a look like, wow, that's great, because we're always looking for people. I should have mentioned that 4 months ago, because who knows where I would be right now. But I built up this relationship. But I just got this feeling that it's like taking a corner. Like I have been dancing around here in the apartment tonight because I'm really good at making thoughts become things, because I do it every single day. I do it every day. So I'm really excited about what is about to unfold. We are a week and a half into March. I will put it out there that by the end of this month, I'll just be voicing a project, whether it's for the government of Nova Scotia. But I have made so many connections. I've made more connections in the 4 months that I've been at one government place than I did the entire time I was at West, when I'm just thinking specifically about film and television. So I'm in a good headspace. That's going to do it for this week. Thank you to all my guests for the last 3 weeks. If you're watching this at your leisure, I appreciate you getting caught up. Brand new episodes next week. I'm working on 2 individuals right now to be guests on my show, Juanita Peters and Sledgehammer Spike. So working on those 2. But brand new episodes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9 p.m. right here on Facebook Live with Matthew. Heather, how are you? Okay, enjoy your Friday. Have a safe weekend. Be safe, be well. Surround yourself with love, yes? We'll see you back here Monday. Bye-bye.